Hey guys, Anthony and Melody here from Signal by Sony, a show all about Sony's games, gadgets, and movies. Right now we're going to talk about two cameras that are getting lots of buzz. The Cyber-shot HX100v and the HX9v. These are great if you're looking for a point and shoot with lots of functionality and great zoom capabilities. They start shipping in April, but we were able to get the cameras here early to show you.
So ever since the press release came out, there's been lots of good questions coming up all over the Sony Camera Club and all over the web. And we're going to answer some of them right now. Question number 1 comes from RM, who says, wow, almost perfect. Now, any info about the sensor size? So on both cameras, you're going to be getting the X-R CMOS chip that's 1/2.3 inches, and it has the effective resolution of 16.2 megapixels. So you're getting really nice sensors there.
Very cool. And from MPix354, from a technical specification standpoint, can someone talk about how the newly announced HX100 will compare to the A55 strictly in terms of HD video? Well, from a format perspective, they are somewhat similar, although the HX100 offers a couple of additional modes. First, it's got a 28 megabit per second 1920 by 1080 60p mode, and then it also has a 24 megabit per second 1920 by 1080 60i mode. From an image sensor perspective, the A55's APS-C sensor is about 13 times the size of the HX100 sensor. That's going to help enormously with low light sensitivity and achieving shallow depth of field. Autofocus, very different as well. Both are continuous, but the HX100 is a sensor-based contrast autofocus, whereas the A55 uses phase detect autofocus from an independent optical sensor. Woo! Woo. That should clear everything up.
Yeah.
Moving on to DoArtix, who says resolutions seem a bit strange. It captures sweep panorama with more resolution than still. Also, I wonder if you can sweep up and down now too. Cool, so I love that you brought this up because what I think you're referring to is sweep panorama high resolution mode. So this is a cool new expansion to the sweep panorama mode we're familiar with. Okay, so the bottom line is yes. The resolution is higher than a still. In panorama high resolution, you hold the camera vertically, so the height of your photo is higher, plus you're then sweeping it from left to right or right to left. So there's more picture in the photo. There's a larger aspect ratio. Just like regular sweep panorama mode, the camera takes lots of photos and stitches it together for you. Same thing happens here, but it captures more information in each of those images. When it's stitched together, it's a higher res, crisper panoramic photo with lots of detail. And as for the direction of the sweep panorama, in regular mode, it can be set from left to right, right to left, down to up, up to down in 2D mode. The sweep panorama high resolution mode creates a 42.9 megapixel still image. It's huge.
That's massive.
But the camera has to be held in portrait orientation, and it can only sweep from left to right and right to left.
You end up with a big file, but a gorgeous shot.
Yeah, amazing.
So here are a couple questions from Stephen McDonald. I saw that it has a couple pseudo 3D modes, one of which uses the full pixel width of the sensor and has a 16:9 aspect. I wonder if this mode could be used for an ordinary 16:9 photo. He goes on to say the HX100 takes SD cards as well as memory sticks. I wonder if it has 2 card slots or just the one dual purpose slot. Well, for your first question about 3D, there are 3 modes. There's the 3D sweep panorama, the 3D still image, and the sweep multi-angle. The 3D sweep panorama is the traditional multi-frame capture where a left and right eye image is assembled, and you can select standard, wide, and 16:9 image sizes for that. The 3D still image captures 2 images, generates a depth map, and then creates right and left eye images from it, and you can select standard and 16:9 aspect ratios for that. Now the sweep multi-angle captures 15 images, which then you can play back sequentially in the camera, and then it simulates that 3D effect. So that's pretty nice. Now, as for the card slots, it's just a single slot which accommodates either a memory stick or an SD card, but obviously not both at the same time. It's just one dual purpose slot, as you said. All right, moving on. Grayby asks, I just checked the specifications of the HX9 on Sony's website. No mention of the handheld twilight mode. What's going on there?
What up with that?
That, for me, was one of the best features of the HX series. Now, Grayby, don't worry. It's on Sony's website now, and we have good news for you. The handheld twilight and anti-motion blur are included shooting modes, and they're awesome, especially in low light, so don't worry. We got you covered.
Okay, so last but not least, Bruckshaw1 says there seems to be a discrepancy between the DP review data for HX100 and the Sony UK data regarding the battery. So DP review has this, the battery listed as the same one as the HX1, which is the NP-FH50, whereas the Sony site has it listed as the NP-BN1. Sony doesn't mention an HDMI adapter either. With USB charging, does that mean that the battery has to be in the camera to be charged? Is there a separate charger? Just like a lot of power-related questions.
Yeah.
So let's set the record straight. The battery for the HX100, definitely the NP-FH50. And both models have industry standard mini HDMI ports on them, so that should be fine. The cable is an optional accessory. As for battery charging, the HX100 comes with an AC L200 AC adapter and charger, so battery charging does take place in camera. Now the HX9 comes with an AC UB10 USB charger, so the battery charging is through the USB port with the battery in camera. External chargers are available for either camera, but those are sold separately. Whew. Anyway, there were so many more questions about the HX9. Sadly, we do not have time to answer them all on the show today, but the good news is that more specs have been published on Sony's website since the press release, and you can find a lot of the answers that you're looking for there, so be sure to check that out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our show this week. Be sure to visit sony.com/signal to check out all the links to the products that we featured this week, or go to youtube.com/signal where you can post your questions, comments, tell us your life story. We read everything that goes on there.
Yeah, and if you are an Android user, go download the free Signal app from the Android Marketplace. Yes, an iPhone app is coming soon. For now, this is Anthony and Melody saying see you next time.